OakTree Entertainment, man.
We know here with OakTree Entertainment.
My man, Randy.
I got an opportunity to intern when I was here, which was very, very important for me. And my first opportunity to like really got in the game, I was at Def Jam with Shakir Stewart, and I was there for a second. Then I went over to Atlantic Records, and from my relation with Shakir, he signed Rick Ross and Young Jeezy. I built a strong relation with Rick Ross, and I signed MMG when I got over to Atlantic Records. That was like my first thing I did that was major for me.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. So, you know, I myself, just to give you a small background, I started out in the mailroom. You know, I was actually delivering mail to labels, and eventually that led me to getting an internship up at Rockefeller Records. And then from there, I got an assistant A&R position at Rockefeller and worked on a lot of albums. But today we're here to talk about the artists a bit.
Yeah.
We talking about the future of hip hop,
Okay.
which is a very, very important thing. How does an artist like get their start? Not even I'm talking about in the game, but I'm talking about conceptually to even get into the booth. Like, where should they start at?
I mean, listen, honestly, I think everybody is born an artist that's really an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just got it in them. Like, you just know what it is. But, you know, like, in today's world, I mean, the opportunity to become an artist is so good because you can do this shit from your home. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're really focused, you can learn some of the steps it takes. You can record at your house, and you can upload your stuff on YouTube, SoundCloud, all these things. So, like, right now, I just think the new generation has an advantage because they can do a lot of stuff on their own from the jump and just show, like, you know, where they want to go as an artist.
And I mean, what are some of the things that they should utilize, right? Because I know a lot of people say, well, I've been posting a lot of my music, you know what I'm saying? I've been on YouTube, I've been on TikTok, I've been using all these platforms, but how are there better ways that they can utilize these free platforms to get seen a little bit more?
I'm a real strong believer though, it's about the song though, you know what I'm saying? As well as using all these platforms, right? Honing in on the craft, really know who you want to be as an artist, or, you know what I'm saying? Who you talking to, what type of music you want to put out there, and I just feel like, you know, just grind it, man. Like, it's more than just the social media platforms today. It's more than that. It's like people still doing the groundwork, you know what I'm saying? Still taking your music to that local spot. Even if you're in school, making sure everybody in the school know you're doing the talent show. Whatever it takes, like, just really just doing what you feel is going to keep pushing you every day to get noticed.
Right. I say one thing. I think that, you know, for young artists, any artist that's out there, you should take one step towards what it is you're trying to do with that, right? Like, I always have this analogy: if somebody tells you that they want to be a bodybuilder, but they never in the gym, how could they ever accomplish that goal? So it's like you gotta write a song one day, write an idea down one day. You know what I mean? Once a day, write one thing down. Also, when it comes to this start, how do we keep these artists not discouraged?
I mean, listen, man, it's a lot of hard work, man. So, like, when I signed Roddy Ricch, right, he had 3,000 followers. He put out a project called Feed the Streets that nobody really heard, nobody paid attention to. But he kept working on one of his songs from the project and kept pushing and shooting videos, going places, doing stuff that was like, feed the streets, feed the streets. So, when I saw the video, I'm like, okay, he grinding, right? But when I first met him, he was like, damn, about time. Like, I've been trying to put in all this work, you know what I'm saying? But I think his biggest thing was you gotta believe in yourself, right?
That's right.
You gotta really know, if you really wanna be an artist, you really want this shit, there's gonna be a lot of doors that close in your face.
That's right.
But you really just gotta stay focused, man, and you gotta have that tunnel vision.
That's a fact, that's a fact. So, one of the things, and I'm pretty sure some people in the crowd might be wondering this, is what is the major look versus the independent grind, right? Like, a lot of people would like to stay independent, but a lot of times I feel like they don't really know what that means.
That's right.
Can you break down like what it is to be a major artist versus what an independent artist is?
So for the difference for me, so I work in a major situation right now with Atlantic Records. I wanted to start Asylum because I wanted to work with development acts, right? So I wasn't really tripping about socials, how many followers you got, how many, you know, whatever. If I heard your music and I felt like it was dope, I didn't care about none of those things, right? But for the independent grind, it's less money up front, right? But I do partnership split deals, basically, where I give you half of whatever we doing, profit split, right? So, and I do like one-off deals, so we can do a mixtape together, we split the profits, we grind, but unlike a major, you're not going to get all this money from marketing, all this money from all these different departments that with a major, they're going to fund you. They might spend $1 to $2 million off rip, right? But you should be coming in with something, for some leverage, you know what I'm saying? So you should have a song going, things like that. I think the independent route is great for artists that, really believe in themselves and believe in their team, and they want to get it to a point where they're making a lot of money fast.
The thing about and what the major is, and I know a lot of people we fall in love with these numbers, right? We tend to believe that 1 million is such, and I don't want to minimize anybody's situation, but $1 million in music business isn't that much money to be invested, because once you start getting through what you get, what the artist gets paid, what they take home, versus what they give their manager, their lawyer, they're not left with a lot, right? So how in some ways does the independent grind pay off?
The independent grind pays off because you're not locked in long term in your deal, right? And if you have a profit split, if you get a hit record and you get a #1 record, that could accumulate $5 to $7 million, and half of that money is yours, and you don't owe nobody. You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, with the independent route, I would go independent in the beginning if I'm just trying to grind and build my shit up. But obviously the majors are big at development artists, man, and I think artist development is one of the biggest reasons to sign to a major, because it gives you an opportunity, if you don't know everything in the beginning, to kind of learn and have a staff, a team of people behind you helping you figure out who you are as an artist. So sometimes if you're an artist, it might take you 6 months to get some notice or whatever, but sometimes you might be in a major situation 2 or 3 years developing yourself, and it happens for you like that.
You helped develop Nipsey Hussle. You helped develop Meek Mill. What's some of the things that you've seen in both of these artists, because they had different careers? Meek might have had more commercial success early on because he had bigger records. With Nipsey, it was a lot of the grind, right? What's some of the things that you learned along the way with Nipsey that filters into the independent game today?
Man, Nipsey, honestly, he really had a vision for what he wanted to do, right? A lot of people don't know it took us 3 years to do Victory Lap. And during that process, there was a lot of days where we really just trying to figure out the sound, where we wanted to go, because it was so important for him to deliver on this.
Hey, my question to both of you guys is, man, both of y'all being A&Rs to major labels, QC at Atlantic Records, right? As an artist that got his own motion, got his own money going, all these streaming platforms, how do you convince him to sign to a major label when he got his own thing going?
My man he just signed with Revolt.
He said, how do we convince an artist who has everything they got going already? Basically somebody who's doing very well independently, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey man, what's up? He grinding out here.
I'm grinding. OakTree Ent.Podcast, Dallas, baby. My man.